So we just watched the new D&D movie trailer, Honor Among Thieves. Woohoo, I hated it. I strongly disliked it. Now, this is our second take starting this show, and I have to be angry again because I'm not angry anymore. But I strongly disliked the trailer. I thought the special effects looked bad, and the CGI looked bad.
I would like to take a soft stance and say that I thought it was pretty good for the sole purpose that it got me hyped about D&D, right? And when you're playing D&D, half the time it's theater of the mind anyway. You don't see anything. So any sort of animation at all of D&D, I'm hyped about.
You know, here's my thought, Seth. I'm not coming to this movie for the special effects, but if anything, I think the creatures look pretty cool. And the trailer we're talking about is the little behind the scenes feature,
special look.
Yeah, they've got the little the talking heads. All the actors say something, and then they've got like little behind the scenes, filming stuff. And there was one little moment where they had these animatronic creatures where it's like, oh, it moves around, and they did it physically rather than CGI. And for that alone, I'm like, that's pretty cool. I'm going to be honest, if the CGI in this movie looks bad, which honestly I don't think it looked that bad. I mean, it's not Marvel, but it's passable for a D&D movie.
Yeah, no, well, and the thing is, I think it's related to the direction of it, because like when I watched Multiverse of Madness, like watching through that movie, I just hated the way it looked. Like the light looked weird to me. So like everything in general looked really weird, and it was a very, back and forth movie for a lot of people, like hit or miss, and I was a heavy miss on that movie. It's just looking at the way that it felt on screen, I was like, this feels more like 2014, not 2022, is the way it looked to me. And I get what you're saying, Drew, but if, you said, I'm happy to see anything in D&D. I am not. I want to see good D&D. No D&D. I would rather not have a movie than a bad one.
Yeah, but I think the standards are at a certain place right now, right? Because no one really knows what to expect from this movie, because D&D is not like a super uber popular thing, right? It's growing obviously now, but from someone who doesn't know what D&D is, it could be cool. We just need it to be average for us. If it's average for us, it's very cool for other people.
It needs to be hype as hell for us, and people that don't know about D&D need to go in and think, oh, well, that was kind of cool. But if they go in and they say, that was pretty cheesy and kind of cringe, if they go in and it's cringe, well, now you've scared a bunch of people who thought D&D was cringe before away.
I mean, that's fair, but at the same time, like, I don't know, D&D isn't a movie. You don't go to the Sonic the Hedgehog movie and say, that was cringe, I'm never going to play Sonic the Hedgehog ever again.
But what you might do is, say I'm a parent, right? And my kid, me, 22, we'll use my mom, Seth's mom, Eric, as an example. So my mom, Eric, goes to the movies with me and is like, I know you love D&D, son, and I want to bond with you. I think it's kind of interesting, but I don't really know what it's all about. Like, I'm going to watch this movie with you, and then I'll kind of like, if it's good, if I like the premise of like all of this, maybe I'll play a little session with you. And then she goes and sees the movie, and it's really cheesy and bad, and like, I don't think I can bring myself to do that.
Oh my god.
Imagine that.
That's a whole thing, though. I'm almost scared a little bit to watch this movie now. Imagine you bring your mom, Eric, to come with you now.
Yeah.
And they don't like it. They're going to think you're a loser.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying this whole time. They're going to think you're cringe.
No. They're not going to think. They're going to think everything you've been doing week after week with your boys every Friday night is lame. They're going to think you're a loser.
Yeah.
You're the kid that got swirlies in high school. Got stuffed in trash cans.
No. You don't understand the technique, okay? So when there's something that's coming out and you think it's going to be kind of cringe, just pretend you don't want to see it. You go and tell everyone else, yeah, that D&D movie looks okay, I guess. I might catch it at some point. And then you wait a year after this movie's come out, okay? You hear what everyone else had to say about it. It doesn't matter. You didn't want to see it. Now, a year later, you just happen to be hanging out with Seth's mom, Eric, for example, and you say, oh, what do you want to watch? I guess we'll just scroll through this streaming service until we find... Oh, you know what? I can't find anything else. Let's watch Dungeons & Dragons, just for fun. just because I can't find anything else that I want to watch. And then, irregardless of how bad that movie is, there is no shade thrown at you because you didn't want to see it in the first place.
See, now that is a great plan for the long play, but it doesn't get people to play D&D, and that's what I want a D&D movie to do. That's what we said last time, was I want it to, like, spread the word. Like, Critical Role's already spread the word to, like, the gamer and nerd community that D&D is cool, but the general population still doesn't know. And now they're coming out with the D&D movie. If you put out trailers that look cheesy and bad, then you're not going to go see the movie, and you're not going to get into D&D. And I just want a massive community for D&D.
I don't know. I think Zach's onto something here. If it just takes a whole year of a long con to make someone else's mom think you're cool, I feel like you could make that work. Like, that might be worth just doing that.
No. It's not making her think that you're cool. It's subverting you looking bad.
Yeah. No, you're still not cool. There is no net gain of coolness. You still recommended watching this movie at some point.
The assumption is still that the movie is bad, and I don't want the movie to be bad. Because, like, when we watched the first trailer, I remember when it came out, I was really excited. I was like, this movie looks fun. This looks cool. I watched that one, and it looked cheesy, and I don't want it to be cheesy. I want it to be pretty okay.
You know, I'm going to say it right now, and this is just for you audience listeners. All the people in my real life are not going to know how much I want to see this movie. But just for you, listener at home, I think it's probably going to be okay, regardless of how cheesy it is. Because let's be honest, unless you're playing in Critical Role with the cast of Critical Role, your D&D sessions and the way things play out, and even when you're trying to take it seriously, it might end up being a little cheesy. This is a game for amateurs.
I'm not saying we're not losers. And at no point have I said we are not losers and that we're not cheesy and we're not cringe. I just want people to think we're not. So that way they try it and they get to be losers too.
You know, I'm just saying,
it's
though.
It's not supposed to show the truth.
But what if a cheesy D&D movie actually, like, you know, it captures the heart of the game, right?
If it perfectly captures the heart of the home game, like the coffee table home game, now I'm in for that. I love that idea. I just don't think it will.
Yeah, you know, it remains to be seen. I don't think that this movie's going to be that, but I think my ideal D&D movie is finding a way to capture that Lego movie juice and spewing it into D&D.
Yeah.
Ew.
There were so many words that I could have used instead
Dude, the
of
Lego
spew,
movie
but
was so good. Like, the way I love the hell out of that movie.
Yeah, it's like, ooh, I want to be a kid again and play with Legos, but
and
now
then you don't.
Yeah, exactly. Now
That's
I
an
don't.
investment and worth a house.
A whole house.
Yeah. Jeez. If I weren't playing D&D, I'd need another hobby to spend all my money on, though. So maybe we'll become the Lego podcast after this doesn't work.
No, you don't know how beefed up my computer would be if we didn't play D&D. I'd spend at least $2,000 a year on a computer.
Oh my gosh.
Like, at least.
But instead, these minis, though, sexy.
Dude, they're on. So the other 7 boxes of Spelljammer minis have not come in yet.
Still?
Yeah, still. I ordered them, and I got the initial thing in 1 box, but I haven't got my other 7 boxes. I'm going to have to call them and be like, yo, because I haven't gotten any notifications on it either. Like, it didn't say there were 2 separate shipments. So I'm like, did someone just put 1 box in here? But I ordered $120 worth of minis, like, basically.
Yeesh.
So, you know, I guess we'll see. You know, it remains to be seen.
No. We don't need to see. Zach and I know exactly what's going to happen. You're going to be waiting for this package. Waiting. You're going to get tired of waiting. You're going to send this email, make this phone call, right? They're going to send you 7 more.
Uh-huh.
And as soon as the 7 show up, the next day, you're going to get an additional 7. And they'll be like, Seth, did we deliver those minis to you? I just got my shipment.
And Drew's not exaggerating because I have stuff like this happen all the time where, for instance, someone may or may not have dropped off my groceries that I spent like $150 on whenever we were living in our first apartment together. Drop off my groceries. And I'm like, oh, yay. You know, I put all the groceries away. Oh, no, I opened the bags. Those aren't the right groceries. They're someone else's. Beans. It's in the middle of COVID. Well, we can't take those back. And I'm like, oh, man, that sucks. Well, I still want my stuff. And they're like, we'll give you your stuff. and they just give me my stuff. Like they're like, oh yeah, you spent your initial grocery order. How about a second one? Here's a second one just on the house.
You've got double groceries.
Now I've got double groceries. I remember the amount of chicken and stuff that we got from that shipment. Like we made chicken stuff for like a week. We made so much good stuff out of that. Oh.
And just to be clear, chicken stuff is just this big crock pot of chicken with stuff in it. I don't even know.
It's like a cream cheesy Alfredo. I don't know. Whatever.
It's wonderful. It cooks all day in the crock. Oh, it's delicious. It's absolutely delicious.
But that's not what we're here to talk about today. Hey, welcome to TableTalk Friday. My name is Seth Pittman. I'm joined by my two best buds, Zachary Carvon and Andrew Romano. How are you boys?
I'm
today?
feeling
How am I doing today? I wasn't prepared for that question.
Well, I'm feeling pretty good, Seth. Me and Zach are tired and exhausted for this week. It's only Wednesday. We're just rounding the hump. We did a whole post show in the car, so I'm excited to see.
Did you record it for extra content?
Yes,
no,
we did. Yep.
Actually, that's just between us and God.
Hung out with God in the car. That was pretty cool. What about you, Zach?
Yeah, he showed up. He really wanted to listen. I'm doing great, and as Drew mentioned, I am tired, but the second I walked into this room, I was just feeling the podcasting energy. So pretend that you didn't hear that, audience. I'm not tired at all, actually. I'm doing pretty well.
Speaking of God, I've been playing so much God of War Ragnarok. It's insane. I'm pretty sure I'm at like the 75-80% point in the game because now I've got a new schedule for myself. I've been like working really hard all day, and if I have to go to Ninja Nation and do classes, I do. But if I don't, like I didn't today, I got an insane workout in. I've been going to this little boxing gym in South End to just make friends with the staff that work there so I can advertise my personal training.
Okay.
And then I've been just like coming back here. Once I'm done with all my stuff, I'm done for the day, and just grind out a game for the last 4 or 5 hours of day that I have left. So I have been grinding God of War. I've done every side quest I've come across, every optional objective I could find, I did it. I'm like 80% of the way through the game, and I'm loving every bit of it.
Now, I don't know how long God of War is. I've seen a bunch of clips on the YouTube Shorts and all that kind of stuff because I'm addicted to that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It looks kind of long though. It definitely gives me Elden Ring vibes. I know it's not that long, that big open world, but it seems massive.
Elden Ring is about 3 or 4 times longer just to finish the main story of God of War to Elden Ring. God of War, if you do all the extra stuff, like 100% God of War is probably like 35, 40 hours, I think. And like the main story is supposed to be 24 or 25 of that.
But do you like the actual world, the environment itself? Because every time I see a clip or a picture, it looks awesome, and I just want to explore it.
Yeah, it's not like Elden Ring or Breath of the Wild or any of those open world games where you get time to like explore or anything. But what it is it's like God of War 2018. You go down a path and you're doing the main story for a while. Once you get to a certain point in the main story, the characters literally say out loud, "Are you sure we want to go back now? There's like a bunch of stuff to do here." And then you make your decision whether you continue the main story or whether you do side stuff. Now, if you're a good gamer, what you do every time is you go, you know what, we will hang out. And then you go down the other path to do all the other stuff. Now, what's really cool is you play as like a couple of different characters. You get a couple of different weapons that are very unique from the first game. There are new characters that come in, new companions for each of the characters like that you get to play as. Like, it's very expansive, like game, like actual game mechanic wise, especially compared to the first game, and the combat is way more fun. I would say it's not that different, but it's more fun for sure.
It looks very different because the only reference I have to God of War beyond the stuff I've seen, the only game I've actually played was like God of War 3, I want to say, like my PS2, which was a blast, by the way, but the fighting system looks way different. I remember just like mashing the X button to swing my swords and kill everything in the area, being very arcade-like, but I'm excited to see where it goes.
Even on like the normal, like the balanced difficulty, it's like literally called balanced.
Okay.
On the actual balanced difficulty, like it's still pretty challenging in spots. Like whenever they're like the Valkyrie fights in the first game, you run into these like berserker enemies, and you're like, oh god, this is gonna be tough. And I've spent like 10 or 12 like lives fighting one guy, like because I know you can change the difficulty on the fly. Like, it's not supposed to be an Elden Ring boss fight style game, but I was like, I will learn this man's combos. Close to the beginning of the game, you get to choose between like whether you want a shield that really blocks, like most enemy attacks won't do damage to you if you're blocking, or you get one that's better with parries. And I was like, I'm not taking that baby blocking shield. I will get good at parries. Now, with small enemies, I'm bad at parries. But with big enemies that I have to memorize combos, I am great at parries, okay? Like, that guy comes at me, I've got items that make it so my parry window is long, so that way I can do it early or late, and I still get it. So it is more fun. Character-wise, just the story I think is better. It's a better game than God of War 2018. And the big debate, because Game Awards are tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern time, I believe. Or no, I think it's 7:30 Eastern time, 4:30 Pacific time. The Game Awards are tomorrow. And the big debate is whether it's going to be Elden Ring or God of War this year. I don't think there's any way possible it can't be Elden Ring.
I mean, it's had a long time for everyone to gush about it. FromSoft's got a nice track record at this point. Sekiro won Game of the Year a few years ago. I think it's got to go to Elden Ring.
The only reason I say I don't think it can't be God of War, I think, is because it didn't change the game, like the gaming landscape at all. It was like, okay, this is another amazing game, just like the Game of Year 2018, God of War. Like, it's a continuation of that. It's just as amazing. But Elden Ring changed things for, like, those Souls-like games. Like, in the future, we're going to see other Elden Rings that are playing off of Elden Ring, for sure. And now Elden Ring kind of got its stuff from Breath of the Wild, but, like, took that and turned it up to 11.
I got to play more games, man. Because I've seen you play through Elden Ring, and I really enjoyed it. I've seen some people play through parts of God of War. I've seen, all the cutscenes of the old games. I really enjoy them, but I don't play them. I gotta sit down and actually grind these things out.
They're an experience.
Because they're games of the year. They're these massive games. They're The Last of Us. They're these big, momentous, groundbreaking games that I feel like I just haven't involved myself with enough.
I'm right there with you, Drew, because my gaming experience lately, I've been playing GTA 5 for the first time.
Wowie zowie, dude.
Yeah.
Game of Year 2015.
Yeah, that's the one.
Was that 2015? I think so.
No, GTA 5 came out...
no, it's been almost a decade, hasn't it?
If not a little over. It came out on PS3 and Xbox 360, and then was released...
Oh, no, you're right. It's older than I was thinking.
Yeah, maybe 2012, 2013.
Sounds about right.
Oh
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
You're playing it 10 years late?
I am. Yeah. Well,
I've never played through the story.
Yeah, Zach's girlfriend Eric really wanted to play GTA 5, and I was like, okay. So we've been passing the controller anytime.
That's fun.
Yeah, we're getting sick of it, but
Nah, I agree, Drew. I think you should play some more games because I am the guy who keeps up with like the gaming news. Like I listen to Kind of Funny Games Daily every day. Like I really keep up with that stuff, and that's that means that every time I hear a game is like a game you have to experience, I go blank on it and I play it. So that's why I have a Switch, a PS5, an Xbox Series S, and all the etc. The VR headset. Just because I'm like, I have to play the games that you need to play. I don't want to miss out on the experience.
The problem is I feel like I need to play them, so it's like a task, right? It's a chore to go do these things. I'd much rather play the games I've been playing for so long, or to Zach's point, I love sitting in the living room and just passing the controller around, playing some Mortal Kombat, playing some sort of story-based, like It Takes Two, just something together, cooperative split-screen kind of vibe. There's something about it that's just so fulfilling. I love it.
I think you play games for like the social benefit of games. I would think like even when you're playing Dead by Daylight, like you're cooperating with a team and interacting a little bit. So I feel like you do play games for the social experience of it. I play games to experience as an experience overall. So like I am delved into like God of War. I'm thinking about it in my off hours. Like I'm playing through. I am Kratos. Like I am these characters and their emotions. Like I'm playing it for the story, for the narrative, and that's why I like when I go to play a cooperative game or a game that doesn't have a lot of story. It's like this is just a fun experience for everyone. I am out. Like I'm not feeling it because I feel like I'm wasting my time. Like if I'm like, I could be playing this, or I could be bettering my life by reading a book.
Well, that's interesting because I think when I game to excel, and I want to if there's a difficulty setting, then I want to beat it on the hardest one.
You definitely are that guy.
Yeah, because if I'm playing a game, I want to not feel like I just wasted a bunch of time. So obviously, it's not a waste of time if I did something that was very difficult to do. So.
Well, that's a great weakness though, because if any video game gives you a challenge or there's something you can achieve, like that, that platinum trophy, right? You have to grind it out. I have the same problem with all of my games. Is I want to get all these achievements. I want to do all this. I have to. We're playing Mortal Kombat 11 right now, which is just the newest Mortal Kombat for the 12 comes out. Yeah. And if you fatality every character 25 times, you get their head, and you open this secret area in the crypt. That guess what it does? It lets you spend more money than you've been spending the entire game. So,
cool.
It doesn't do anything, but I need all the heads. I have to get all those fatalities. I have to do it.
Yeah, I think it's cool that we are all so different in our opinions on games because, like I said, I'm playing it, for experience, like it's a movie, like it's a cinema type thing. Like, I want to experience. That's why I play D&D. But, yeah, you definitely play as, I want to excel, which, to be fair, it is one thing to be able to get over things that are difficult.
Well, yeah, and come to think of it, I feel like this kind of extends to the way that we play D&D in a sense. Mm-hmm. Because when I create characters, Sean, or Firefighter Eric is the same way.
They know his name, Sean.
Yeah, Sean. I like to metagame, or not metagame, but power game, and make a powerful character. At the same time, of course, I want to contribute to the story in a meaningful way, and get that experience. But I think my main focus is, all right, well, how can I do this the best that I can? And when we face a challenge, I want to deal with it in the optimal way. Because that's the way that I get fun out of games. And for you, Seth. Don't let me speak for you, but you're often the DM, but when you're not, you're always creating a memorable character. You're trying to do something that you haven't seen done before, and you're expanding the story, or you'll even reach out to Drew or I and say, all right, these are the things that I want my character to do, and here are the special things about him that don't exist on the character sheet, where usually my creative outlet will be, all right, how can I make this build as powerful as possible with the flavor that I want? But you do a lot of the the outside thinking big picture story stuff.
Yeah. And Drew, honestly, yeah, I think that you personally do keep it as your social experience. You're here to hang out with the boys, but you also want the boys to have as much fun as possible. You want them, and especially you want your character to be valuable at the table. So whenever you're thinking about it, you're like, how can I make my moves and stuff as cool? It's all about the flavor, right? Because you're like, I want this to be cool. I want everybody to think I'm cool. I want everybody to have fun watching my character be cool.
It's all you need to do is be cool, boys and girls. It's all you got to do.
And I will say, when you DM, you're there to entertain. A lot of times, I'm there to tell a story. You're there to entertain, to have a really cool party going on. Whenever you'll spend the whole year crafting this one experience that's you guys are going to have the best night of your life. I'm okay, I want to play again next week so we can continue the story. I want to see the story. I want to keep going through the story. And yeah, I often make pockets so that Zach and Sean can feel really cool. Where I'm let me just make sure, can I do it in this way? Absolutely, that would be pretty badass. And that's and I think the power gamer is the least toxic D&D, toxic trait, that you can have, because I think especially if your players like to do that, it can be very fun.
Yeah, and especially because we have multiple, optimized players at the table, we're sort of bringing up the power level of the table, but it's not bringing the rest of us down because we're all seasoned at this point. And for maybe Drew, you haven't made the most powerful optimized character, but yeah, Pyth has actually. Yeah, Seth's just hacking.
I don't know why I keep
here.
Coughing so much.
Yeah, but Pyth, he's a very interesting character build. Don't get me wrong, but Seth, you have the ability to bring other people up to speed with, okay, well, here's this really cool magic item that gives you like this niche pith. You're the only person who can plane shift in the party because you have your special, your thing that you've got. Varys has got bracers of defense and all of his cool stuff. So yeah, super long tangent, not what we're here to talk about today.
No, today is all about One D&D. Welcome to the show, guys. You can find us and all of our stuff online. Check us out at patreon.com/TableTalk Friday. Have to plug that in here at the beginning of the show because we are talking about the new One D&D Unearthed Arcana that came out last week, hours after Zach and I recorded a show. Like, the episode you guys heard last week, what did we talk about? We talked about how they came out with the surveys for the last One D&D. Unearthed Arcana. And then this time, they wait till like 12 hours later, and we wake up to videos about of the new Unearthed Arcana, and I was like, fuck, we could have gotten that all done at once.
Yeah. No, but we're waiting a week later so that Drew could be here because Drew was icky sick, and now he's fine, so that's good.
And because, Drew, I'll let you take it after this. This one is all about the cleric.
Woo! I have been waiting for this for so long. I feel like I haven't even gotten to play a good cleric in a while, so just the concept that there's new content for these clerics that already have, I think, the most content out of like all these other classes. They have so many subclasses, so many options. I'm stoked. But before we jump into the cleric, I do want to it's cleric and species, right? That's the second part of it.
Yeah. They revise the species and they added in the Goliath.
Now remind me, while we're saying the word species, in the first One D&D Unearthed Arcana, I'm pretty sure they still called them character races, no?
Yes, I think so.
In the last one they did, I believe.
Yeah, so I'm interested by this new wording because the word race is not used here at all.
It's adventure character, correct?
Yeah, well, so they're calling them character species.
Okay.
So, a Dragonborn is not your character's race, it's their species, which, interesting.
Probably just different wording as to not attribute it to something negative.
Yeah, and, I don't have any issue with that. I feel like it would have been appropriate a while ago, so...
Also, I do. Maybe it would have been nice to point it out. I guess maybe, but I mean, maybe they just wanted to kind of slide it in there.
Sure, yeah. I don't think anyone's really going to be too up in arms about this one. It's not the focus of this at all.
Also, if you're up in arms about that change, get out of here, dude.
I'm up in arms about this change. I'm up in arms for one reason and one reason only. I saw a video where this guy was talking about all the changes, and he was reviewing basically the new stuff coming out, and the top comment on the video changed my mind entirely. It was, if you call them, instead of species, you call them ancestries, it's the ABCs of characters. You have your ancestry, you have your background, and you have your class. Which I absolutely
love it.
I'm a big fan of that.
We got to put this in our survey, guys. Everybody listening to this episode, you will submit a survey whenever they come out, probably later this month. But, and put in that you want them to be called ancestry so they can say ABCs of character creation. Come on.
It just makes things easy and fun.
That makes it very fun.
But I do feel like ancestry almost implies, like, where you're from, like, maybe you're a human, but you
have no imagination.
Yeah, you're 1/16th elf. Won't that be confusing? Won't that word be weird? But I do like the ABCs of character creation.
Yeah, that's so fun.
It just makes it so easy. I don't know. Also, I feel like species, it makes it feel very sci-fi for some reason. And I feel like most games that we play are not very... I mean, we're going to play Spelljammer soon, which will be very exciting. Maybe we'll call it species then. But it feels very... like high tech.
I don't know. Species almost feels right.
It almost
because
it pulls me out of the fantasy
before
vibe.
With it being race, I assume that like certain subsections within the same I guess they were all humanoid races, right?
Yeah.
But like species, like I don't know. I never saw like a lizard folk and an elf as like close to the same thing, but I guess they kind of are.
Yeah, I think it feels with like race to me. It was like, it's like whatever, it's fine. You could use that. Doesn't make it feel any particular way. Species almost like pulls me down a little bit. It's like, it feels strange. But ancestry or even heritage was pretty good. I'd heard.
Yeah, heritage or lineage.
Lineage was good. Yeah,
and they have the custom lineages, so they can be like, oh yeah, you can do any of the selected lineages, or you can do a custom lineage.
Yeah, your BCLs. I don't know what that stands for. Don't look it up.
Yeah,
just in case.
your LBCs.
Don't look it up. But, funny enough, because I do love the custom lineage, I love the idea of calling them lineages. Why didn't they start with that? That's something so simple, I feel like. They already had it going. It was already part of their system. But
whatever. Not our problem.
anyway, I do want to jump very briefly into the first of the 3 species that they brought up this time. And this was mentioned in the last UA or the one before that. I can't even remember at this point. But the Ardling. Ardling's pretty cool. It's sort of or at least it used to be a very Azamar-like, however you like to say it. It felt very divine and celestial, and that's kind of a part of who they are, but they're also half shifter vibe. It's like half celestial, half animal kind of. It's very strange to me in the first place. I like what they did now, where they're actually leaning more heavily towards the animal side of it. So it's not the Azamar, who already has their staple role in the D&D community, but they're also not a shifter, really. I feel like it's just its own thing at this point. Also, some of the abilities that come with this Ardling, I think, are powerful enough to see use at the table. I think it is definitely a heightened race or heightened species, heightened heritage at this point, because it's a little more oomphy. The newer book, the Monsters of the Multiverse, when it came out with all the new races you could play as, all these different options, a lot of them gave cool little abilities. Like Seth really liked the newer elves, right, where the elves could teleport around.
Bonus action teleports, dude. I love them.
Yeah, it's sick. And so to see more race options, more things that actually happen as you progress through the game that's not just your class, I think is really interesting. I think my personal favorite one out of the Ardling, because there was about, I think, 6 you could choose or so. They had to do with different types of animals. One of my favorite was the actual speed one, or the speed-based options. Like
the racer.
The racer, yes, the racer. They compared them in the description to, like, deer.
That sounds so stupid.
But it's cool. And I will defend it. So, first of all, in the description, it describes Triceratops as a racer, which is weird. I've never thought of Triceratops as a fast creature.
What's interesting is that it's the only dinosaur mentioned, and like if there's a fast dinosaur, I feel like the Triceratops isn't my top pick, but
like the fattest one I could think of.
Yeah, I would think like a Velociraptor would be like a fast one I could think of.
Yeah, but at the same time, maybe you consider but they're like they're less runny because they've got like their whole biting thing, but I don't know.
I don't like my eggs are runny.
But it's pretty neat. The ability itself it allows you, I want to say it's like you get so many times per rest as like your proficiency bonus or something. They're leaning more heavily into that since Tasha's came out. But it's the idea that you could take your movement or 10 times your proficiency bonus, add it onto your speed, and then as a dash on your turn, you get that additional speed. So it sounds a little weird at first. So let's say starting off, you have a +2 proficiency, right? You multiply that by 10, it's 20 feet, right? So now, I believe you can bonus action, it might be an action. When you dash with that character, instead of getting a normal 30 feet movement, you get 50, which is pretty sick, I think.
Well, so I'm not sure, and maybe this requires more clarification, but here's the wording. When you take the dash action, your speed increases for that action. The increase equals 10 times your proficiency bonus. That's it. So there's it's not limited to a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus per long rest. It's just whenever, which makes me think it's whenever you dash, you don't add the speed before you dash, you add it after. So at first level, you take the dash action. If your speed is 30 feet, then you dash at 60, you get an extra 20 feet on top of that for a total of 80. I think that's where they're going with that, because
that sounds about right.
Yeah, if they did that, I mean, just imagine you get the 50 base speed, it's 100 at first level, and then you're a monk. So then it's actually you get to that point, it's 120. Oh, but also I've got boots of speed, so now it's 240, and also I'm hasted, so now it's 480.
But how cool would it be to be that guy?
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be against it if it was the more powerful one, only because playing like a speedster character, like a Harengon with boots of speed that can do haste and like all of that, add it all together, and all of a sudden they are the Flash. Like, that would be so cool.
I mean, I don't have a problem with that, and I'm sure that'll still exist, but I don't think as a player's handbook option, like, for instance, the flyer option for Ardling, they don't actually fly. I don't think that they're going to be leaning towards the more powerful option.
Fair.
It sounds like the simpler.
Yeah,
one's
I guess as a
probably
minor
correct.
race trait, you wouldn't want that to be like an all-powerful option.
Yeah, but still super cool. The other options are climber. Like we mentioned, you gain a climbing speed, and you can, let's see, once per turn when you deal damage with your unarmed strike to a target, you can increase the damage equal to an amount equal to your proficiency bonus. That's cool. Flyer, when you fall at least 10 feet, you can use your reaction to safely glide downward, taking no damage from the fall. Note how they didn't say you can glide horizontally. Looking at you, Hadesy. And in addition, when you take the jump action, you have advantage on that action's ability check. And then swimmer, you can hold your breath up to an hour at a time. You have a swim speed equal to your speed. In addition, you have resistance to cold damage. All super benign, not super powerful, any of these particular options, but I like them a lot better than the bonus action fly that the more celestial version had. But in keeping with they've got like a slight celestial heritage is more what's being implied here. Like they're descended from the beast lands, which is a celestial plane. They have thaumaturgy, so you can whenever you finish a long rest, you can also replace that spell with a different level 0 spell cantrip from the divine
So they
spell
get
list.
an extra cantrip.
Yeah, they get one divine cantrip of their choice, essentially.
But something we've never seen is they get that cantrip of their own choice that they could swap out on the long rest. We don't have any other races that could swap the spells they're given, I don't believe.
I think they're
can't
going to
think of
lean
any.
towards making this a more of a thing. Honestly, just being able to swap things when you want, so that way you have just full control over your character. It seems like that's where we're leaning with One D&D stuff, is like being able to do this stuff on the fly. And I have a feeling they'll probably do that.
Yeah, but I am a fan of thaumaturgy as the base
Yes.
for this, because if you think about all the special things that you can do with thaumaturgy,
You make yourself roar.
Yeah, you make yourself real loud. You make your eyes look like some special kind of way. Animals have weird looking eyes. Other things you can make sounds happen and that sort of thing as well, which makes sense if you're slightly
celestial.
Magical in some way. So
It's a good choice.
yeah, and then they also all gain proficiency in perception. The original Ardling, I had like a pit in my stomach about. I really didn't like it. This version is completely benign. I like it perfectly fine, and I might even play one.
I like it perfectly fine, and I will probably never play one.
No, you don't think so? I think they're pretty cool.
I'd rather play like a Herringon or another animal, like a Hadesy, or I don't know.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, right? We already have a lot of beast folk, so just to give a generic option here is probably more about not worrying about those previous options. So, out of the box, we're selling the new player's handbook. You don't have to buy the 5e materials to get that beast folk
You can
you
be a
want.
rabbit if you want. You can be a fox if you want.
Yeah,
Like, go
exactly.
ahead.
Yeah. Just shut up and forget about it.
Yeah.
The only other take I have on the Ardling that I want to share, I feel like D&D's been branching out a lot. I don't know if you guys have heard of the Asgardian setting. A lot more people are playing with the like Greek mythology or Norse mythology. A lot of different cultures going on, especially with like the Radiant Citadel kind of stuff. A lot of different culture we're bringing into this game. This, to me, with the celestial mixed with the animal, gives me very much so Egyptian mythology vibe.
Same, yeah.
Norse mythology too has a lot to do with it. I mean, Egyptian
That's true.
Egyptian definitely more, but
I know, but that's the first thing I think of when I think of this race now, is because if you are mixing the animal with the celestial thing, which I think is a little strange off the bat, if you think of it in an Egyptian sense, it sounds really badass. Like, I want to be like an Anubis-based character, That would be sick.
If you're playing in a more Egyptian setting, then I'd be into it.
Yeah, so here's my thought. I just want to see what the official art is. I want to know what Wizards of the Coast thinks these things look like, because in my mind, you can go either one of two ways. They say they've got a human, shaped body and the head of an animal. So is the human-shaped body bear? Is it like straight up Egyptian Anubis situation and just the head is the animal? Or is the body also furry? Because then that brings up some interesting questions about, okay, well, I'm a climber. You say I've got hooked claws, sharp nails, or a serpentine
So
tail.
are my human hands, claws,
Yeah,
or do I have animal paws and a tail? Like,
Yeah. So where does it start and where does it end? That's what I want to know.
yeah, I agree. I need to see some art because I've been in my head establishing these as like half human, half animal, and not like bipedal animal. So yeah, I don't know.
I would prefer bipedal animal. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like mixing it makes it a little weird.
I'm just saying that's how I've been imagining it because I've been imagining it more along the Egyptian lines. I would prefer the bipedal animal as well. Even though I think it's cool to have that option in a different book. But not the player's handbook. Like for the like half human, half animal. It's like, okay, well, this is a themed book around sort of these types of gods. And also, they would be cool enemies. I feel like. You know,
that's true.
Those would be cool enemies. Not really. It's weird to play that as a character.
Yeah, no, I feel it for sure. But luckily, if you don't like the Ardling, there are 2 other options you could play in this new UA. And I do very briefly want to touch on, because we can't talk about these species forever. We have to talk about the cleric too.
No, well, we'll get there. I want to finish the species.
No, I know. But the Dragonborn, I'm
spicy.
Extremely hyped.
Spicy.
It is exactly that. It is spicy.
This is exactly what I wanted out of the Dragonborn.
Yeah.
Since Fizzbands came out,
much more palatable.
More,
especially far better than the original Player's Handbook one. I still like the Fizzbands ones better. But if you're going to make a generic one, this is the generic Dragonborn.
Yeah. And so the reason that I think, honestly, I don't like it better than the Fizzbands options for what they are, but for the Player's Handbook, I think that this is my ideal version of the Dragonborn, just because, again, gem dragons, sort of odd in how that fits into like the standard D&D lore. I get it. Maybe we don't want to throw that in there at base, but just having these options, fully displayed, you can choose chromatic or metallic as you want, but it's not like listed to a particular whatever. And it doesn't have that great an impact on your features. I think that's pretty fine. I honestly, I don't have a problem with that. And what they did, as we all know, is they took the Fizzbands breath weapon, where you can replace one of your attacks with the breath weapon, and then additionally they gave you the choice whenever you do your breath weapon. So it's not a choice when you choose this species. It's whenever you want. You can make it either a 15-foot cone or a 30-foot line. So you get to choose what's more tactically advantageous in that moment.
So cool.
It honestly makes it really powerful. Maybe a little too powerful, but I don't care because the breath weapon has been the lamest race feature in 5e for a long time now. So I'm definitely okay with that. And then, so in addition, they have damage resistance and they get dark vision, which they didn't before. Good. They should have it. They get at 5th level. You learn how to channel the magical energy of temporary flight. As a bonus action, you sprout spectral wings from your back that last for 10 minutes or until you're incapacitated, or you retract the wings as a bonus action. During that time, you have a fly speed equal to your speed. Your wings appear to be made out of the energy used by your breath weapon. Oh,
I would have done that anyways, but thank you for putting it in there.
Yeah, and once you use this trait, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest.
I got my poison wings, my lightning wings.
Ooh, that's just such a fucking cool character.
The ice wings?
Yeah, just imagine any Dragonborn with elemental wings. That's super cool.
And why I'm upset they didn't include any gem dragon stuff, because the psionic wings are the coolest things in the world. You know, Arifras has them in our current campaign where he'll like sprout his wings. It's so freaking cool, and I just wish it was still there.
Yeah, I really wish they had mentioned the gem dragons at all here, and I know we're getting to that point where Fizzbands is like its special own thing, and I've even heard whispers. I know we haven't done the episode on this yet, so don't spread the secrets. But I've heard in Dragonlance there's similar sorts of ideas where there's groups of people or feats or abilities that are exclusive to like a certain setting, kind of a vibe. So I could see why you'd want to split it up, but I really did want to see them. I'm always down for more dragons. But at the very least, they gave us everything that we need to be a dragon here. We could blow fire, we blow whatever we want, we could fly. We're good to go.
Whatever I want.
Whatever you want.
And that's free of charge, honey.
So, new Dragonborn, guys. Love it. Love it to death. It's going to be a great addition for the Player's Handbook. But something I have a different opinion on is the Goliath.
Yeah, so that's our new special. I know we mentioned it was teased last week. That's the new special guest joining the Dragonborn and the Ardling is Goliath, now apparently slated for the player's handbook. So, Seth, go ahead and talk about him.
One, I think they probably did this all because of Vox Machina, because we've made the Goliath popular now. It is popular. Grog is a Goliath in Legend of Vox Machina, and you can't have a book without the Goliath because he's so cool. And so like half orc barbarian got changed to like Goliath barbarian basically is what I've been seeing. Anyways, that's not the point of this. I love the heck out of the different giant types being a part of this. The fact that they included all of those, I want to see more Goliath stuff in the upcoming giant book that we're getting next year. That's like Fizban's Treasury of Dragons. I can't wait to get that book and see what's in it. But my one problem with the Goliath right now, and they're probably going to include a lot of this in the giant book because all the stuff they've been coming out with lately has been, attributing itself to a lot of the new stuff. Like we got in Spelljammer, the background feats are included in the Spelljammer book. Like these things, Spelljammer and beyond is going to work in One D&D because they've kind of made it that way. So I find that a lot of these abilities are so freaking cool, but far too powerful for their own good. Adding like an extra D10 of fire damage on every hit is a lot for every hit for the fire giant one.
Well, so it is a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus. So it's sort of like a
but are you going to be hit until by the time you've got 3? You don't even have 3 attacks yet.
That's true.
So,
that's true.
So like, I mean, yeah, I guess if it is a number of times equal, like it's fine. But yeah, it is pretty strong. And then also the wording needs to be changed on a couple of them, especially the fact that you can knock someone prone without a check or anything. It doesn't say anything about against a DC something check. It's just like, hey, if you hit someone, you can just knock them prone. I'm like, are you kidding me? I get it. It's only proficiency bonus time, but that's a boss killer in one turn. Like if you go before the boss and you knock them prone and then someone else goes in and crits them, that's just an instant win tactic just because you chose that species.
Yeah, and so for all of you at home who haven't read the UA yet, the Goliath is different than we've previously seen it.
I like it much better, though.
Yeah, now you choose a giant ancestry based on any of the standard giant types. So we've got Cloud, Fire, Frost, Hill, Stone, and Storm, where previously we just had a stone giant adjacent character. So they've got all these separate options. Seth, the Cloud Giant, of course, is your happy free Misty Step, basically just the 30-foot teleport bonus
perfectly
action.
Reasonable.
And then we have the Fire Giant, which, like you mentioned, you can add a D10 fire damage. I'm going to say at first level that's probably a little too strong, but at the same time, I don't think it's going to ruin anything based on what we've been hearing about fighters and how there's going to be new weapon options.
Right.
And for example, the light weapon property, now it's a single action. It doesn't even use your bonus action to make 2 weapon attacks. So I imagine a lot of characters are going to be getting a little bump. So I'm not super scared about it. And also, it seems really cool. Frost Chill. It's just like the Fire Giant one, except it's a D6 cold damage, and you reduce the target's speed by 10 feet until the start of your next turn.
I like that one a lot.
Yeah, I like the idea of it, specifically because
back to back to back.
Yeah, you can use multiple in one turn and reduce their speed significantly.
Yes.
Which 10-foot reduction to speed has never impacted anything in any combat that I've ever been in. Ray of Frost is a pointless cantrip. It's just shitty firebolt.
Agreed. But you can't do it multiple times in a turn. If you could do like 2 or 3 Ray of Frost at a time, that's whenever Ray of Frost would be good.
Yeah.
Like hey, if it was more like Eldritch Blast, you do less damage and you reduce their speed by, even if it was like, if you got 3 rays and it was like 5 or something like that, that would even be like, okay, 20 feet. Ooh, now it's pretty saucy.
See, I like it flavorfully just because imagine you're a Goliath fighter, right? You have action surge. So you walk up to somebody with this, just slash them 3 or 4 times, they're frozen solid, right? You run away, your teammate's like, oh, you slowed him down. So the rest of your party could escape. That's so cool.
Like with the Leviathan axe in God of War Ragnarok, you can freeze the enemies.
Just totally freezing people.
Yep.
We don't have as many ice abilities as I want. I like that.
Ice is the coolest.
We need more ice stuff.
Frozone. I want to be Frozone.
Seth, I don't know if you realized how great a pun you just made, but ice is the coolest.
I didn't realize it until you just pointed it out. I did not pick it up.
No, I was going to congratulate you on it, but then you just kept talking, and I was like, ooh, I need to tell him how good that was. The others, Hills Tumble, like you mentioned. When you hit, the target goes prone. There's no save. I'm going to be honest, I kind of like it, but your point is very valid. Stone's Endurance is the same as it used to be. And then Storm's Thunder, when you take damage from a creature within 60 feet of you, you can use your reaction to deal 1d8 thunder damage to that creature. I personally feel like this is probably one of the weaker options, which is a shame because really I want the Storm Giant to be the best one. Who doesn't want to be a Storm Giant Goliath? But
it should work like Thunderous Smite, I feel like.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Maybe.
Like it should just hit them for a certain amount of damage and throw them back.
Yeah. I mean, maybe even we adjust so Frost Chill is a D8, and then Storm's Thunder is a D6.
And it pushes them 10 feet.
Yeah, it pushes them back 10 feet. I like that. And then they have an extra feature, which honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of this one just because of what we already have. But they've got their large form. So starting at 5th level, they can grow. As a bonus action, they change their size to large, provided they're in a big enough space. For 10 minutes, they are that size. For the duration, they have advantage on strength checks, and their speed increases by 10 feet. And then this is a once per long rest kind of thing. My issue with it, I think you both know what it is. Doesn't the Rune Knight already do that?
But the Rune Knight's not going to be in the new player's handbook.
I know it's not, and this confirms that it's never coming back.
No, it's not that it's not coming back. It's just that, it's not going to be in those initial ones, or they're going to make it different later on.
Yeah.
Like, they might have a Rune Knight-esque class that comes back later on and it's just completely different. It's like a rewritten Rune Knight. And so it might be in there. Maybe it will be in there. It's just going to be rewritten so that that's a different ability.
Yeah, and then the last thing about the Goliath, they have powerful build, but it's been altered. So now they have advantage on any saving throw made to end the grappled condition on yourself, in addition to counting as one size larger for determining your carrying capacity and that sort of thing. I'm going to be honest, I love big burly boys. I'm happy to see another big burly boy in the default options, but I just feel like Wizards of the Coast kind of has a hard-on for this whole let's make a giant-themed thing where you choose between the elements of the giants. There was even, that sort of thing planned for the new giant book that's coming out, like extra in addition to the Rune Knight. I feel like we're getting too much giant content to the point where the mystique of giants and like the fact that, when we played Storm King's Thunder, I shat my pants for like the first several times we ran into giants. But by the end of that campaign, I've become desensitized to giants. I feel like this is doing the same thing. Where
Giants feel like normal people to me now.
Exactly. They feel too mundane. And the fact that, Goliaths just exist and they run around with all their different special forms. They're not, secluded or... because previously, Goliaths were sort of like a weird... glitch in the lore where we didn't know exactly what they were or where they fit in. Now I think they make a little too much sense to where we weren't
people be hooking up with giants.
Yeah, we didn't have confirmation that Goliaths actually came from stone giants. It was just sort of implied. Now it's very explicit where they're coming from. So I don't know. I could take it or leave it from a world perspective, but again, like I said, I'm never going to turn down a big burly boy.
I'm kind of surprised that that's the way you feel, Zach, because since Fizzband came out, we got all the new Dragonborn, even the new Dragonborn now we have in this UA, as well as Dragonlance setting coming out. I'm beyond stoked for more dragons. I want to see more, the Mega Worms and Ancient Dragons and all that kind of stuff. I want to see more. And while I also played Storm King's Thunder, I would still love to see more giants. In our main campaign, we are starting next session in a fight with some fire giants. I am stoked. I am so ready to fight these guys. It's been so long. I want to do it again.
That's fair. I am excited for that. I think there is a part of me that also just wishes that rather than the Goliath, we were giving better treatment to the Firbolg, my preferred giantkin.
Firbolg is cool. Or Fireblog, as
Fireblog.
Patrick called them.
Yeah, the fire blog.
Yeah, Fearbolgs are cool. I do prefer the Goliath. I like this a lot, and I expected it to kind of be in there because of Critical Role. But I do agree that giants mean nothing to me anymore. And I hope we get some really cool new lore and stuff about them in the new book that comes out. Giants are probably my favorite creatures because I've run them so much, thanks to Storm King's Thunder. But yeah, after doing that campaign and, us being veterans of like experiencing so much with giants, I still find dragons to be terrifying. Giants, though, I'm like, oh, they're just like, they're basically goblins.
Yeah, I think the issue is that giants cap at, obviously there are the Volos, the Fire Giant Dreadnoughts and Storm Giant Quintessence that get up there in power, but none of them come close to the prestige and the what's the word that I'm looking for? When your reputation, the reputation of dragons. When an ancient red dragon steps out of the cave, everyone shits their pants. We took on a Storm Giant Quintessent with a party of level 7 characters. It's just, they are not the same.
No, that's fair. That's fair. But I'm still very excited to see more of each one, regardless of what happens, except for one thing. And I will tear the Goliath a new one for this. I am up in arms. I'm angry, but also I'm very excited. Why is their movement speed 35? Because they're bigger. But that's super cool. I love the idea that you have long strides. Now, listen to this.
I'm listening.
So, if you're taller, you're going to have these longer strides, right? You're going to have a little bit of extra speed than others. Makes complete sense. I actually love the flavor. But you know what other flavor I like? The short people with short little legs have 25 movement speed. We've already talked about in the previous UA that they no longer have this, or they're changing it up. So, if the halfling can't have the fun little flavor of being a little slow, why does the giant get the fun flavor of being a little faster?
That's actually disgusting. I didn't even realize that they have 35 feet. And then with their large form, they have 45 feet. Yeah. That's faster than an actual giant. That doesn't make any sense to me.
No, you're right. I don't like it. That is dumb. I mean, I take it back. I don't think you're stupid anymore.
Congratulations, Drew. You're not stupid.
This may be the first time I've made a really good point where I persuaded everybody on the podcast. I feel really good about this.
I didn't even notice that they had 35 feet movement speed.
It kind of just based on everything we've seen in the past, it made sense. But you're right. Why don't the freaking dwarves and gnomes and halflings have 25 feet? I mean, I like the standardizing of 30 for all player characters, but at the same time, yeah. I mean, why did they got 35?
Yeah. And then why do they get more? I guess 35 is fine in my mind. I think, in the other UA Wood Elves, they still get their 35 feet movement speed, I think.
Yeah.
So that's fine if it's like a special thing. But you can't give them 45.
That's can't get...
I mean, obviously you're not getting it at first level. They lock it to 5th. But just from your race, 45 movement speed... There are classes that juice this shit up. Imagine a Goliath monk, which I want to play now.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so cool.
A fire giant monk who, they add that 1d10 on all of their unarmed strikes that they're making all the time. You flurry of blows. This man is Sonic the Hedgehog, and he punches like, I don't know what he punches like, but it's fire.
Really hard.
You're big and they're small, so you walk up to them, you step on their leg, knock them prone, and just wail on them while they're down. That's how I see it.
And it doesn't matter where you are, because they will chase you down with 65 feet of movement.
Yeah. Oh, that's dangerous. That's a good boss to go up against.
I hate to say because I know we've memed it up, but I really do want to do a speed or a jump build really bad.
It'll happen.
The next one off, I might just have to do it.
I think you know what we do? We plan this behind everyone's back, and I make it so that you two make a duo of characters in the next one off IDM called the Jump Squad, and you guys work off each other. Like one of you has incredible strength and throws the other one, and then the other one has special magic boots that let you jump further in midair. So now you can fly up 200 feet.
Are you saying we're double jumping, Seth? Is that what I'm hearing?
Exactly.
Oh my god, that's gonna be insane.
All right, well the jumper has to be a Hadesy then, so you can glide down safely.
Oh yeah, but then you don't get as good of a jump though. We have to. Okay, so one of us will be really good at throwing the other person.
No, that person needs to be a Harengon, And then the person on the bottom, the person who's really strong, needs to be able to move laterally fast, so that way they can catch the person.
And then you both take the bludgeoning damage when you fall from 200 feet.
Or you have like a feather falling thing, or like we can make up a magic item that's like arm cushions or something like that, so you catch them.
Yeah,
or like you throw down a pad or something. Oh,
It'll
yeah.
just be the shock boots from Portal 2.
What if the jumper has a chargeable like deployable pad that they can put down, so like they get close to the ground and they have to use their reaction to throw the pad onto the ground, and if they land there they take no fall damage?
Okay, but I want them to land on things too. I feel like that's the only benefit that you're going to get from the jump build.
That's fair.
This might wait. This might be the only good time to play that horrible barbarian class. The one with the spiky armor.
The Battle Rager?
The Battle Rager. You jump and land on people with your spiky armor as the Battle Rager. That's fun. You're a little comet.
Yeah, or we can just make you a magic item that's spiky armor.
I was going to say, sorry to burst your bubble, Drew, but rules as written, it still doesn't do any extra damage.
Yeah.
But it'd be so much more fun if it did, though.
Yeah.
Imagine diving like 100 feet down with this spiky armor and landing on someone, just belly flopping on top of them.
Well, there's a hill giant variant that like puts goblins, like spiked goblins, into catapults on their back and throws them.
No, that's ogres, please.
Oh, it is ogres.
It's the ogre howdah is what it's called. I don't know what a howdah is, but it's stuck in my brain.
Howdah ogre.
Howdah.
No, so anyways, all the new races are good. They're all acceptable to me. I would also, though, just love to see some revisions, stuff that I'll be putting in my survey, namely, some clarification on Ardling a little bit more. I don't think they're too powerful or anything. Dragonborn can stay as is. That's fine. And the Goliath, I just want to see revisions to each of those like abilities that they have. I don't think the damage is too much, honestly, now that I've thought about it. But I do, I want some more proper wording that's not like, oh yeah, I automatically knock them prone. Just because me as the DM, I don't want that to be the one thing I have to avoid all the time. Like, oh yeah, let me cheat my character out of their ability because it automatically knocks them prone. Fine, then no enemies get knocked prone. Ever.
Oh. Yeah, well, I like the strength. Looking at all these, I know we just talked about all these, but they all feel very powerful.
Yeah.
What I am worried about, that I voiced a number of times before on this podcast, is that if we are giving these people, as their bare species that they're picking, right? No class or nothing. If they're already getting 1d10 fire damage, right? Just as an example, you could pick any of the other ones if you'd like, right? What happens once we dive into these classes? The classes aren't going to give you 1d10 fire damage. They're giving you 2d10 fire damage. They're giving you 3d10 fire damage, right? This is going to keep creeping up and up. And we already have this crazy cool strong Goliath. We have this crazy cool strong Ardling. Crazy cool strong Dragonborn. So as we get more of these guys reworked, they're just going to get stronger and stronger. So I'm very intrigued to see where they go with this and how they think about this in terms of balancing.
I like power creep.
Yeah.
I honestly do. I want all my characters to feel like Marvel characters. So, like, the second we make, or like anime characters, as I've expressed many times in the past, I don't want to feel like a lame adventurer. I want to start out at level 1 and I want to feel badass.
No, it's true. It's true. And I got to say, in our main campaign, we have an exact example of this power creep right now, where our DM just gives us any magic items we want and lets us craft all of these things.
You didn't want what I gave you. I just gave it to you.
I'm just saying, I am intoxicated right now by this power creep, by the game, everything that the D&D is actually giving us right now is this new content. Excited to see where it goes, but I am extremely worried about where these monsters are going. We just got these, they were called mega worms, right? The super worm,
Great worms.
Great worms, right?
A mega worm.
I'm a mega worm.
It's actually WORM. It's just a bigger purple worm.
Well, I mean, everybody knows that right after, you got your worm, you've got your great worms, then you got your ultra worms, then you got your master worms.
Then you've got your platinum worms.
Yeah, they got some premier worms over there.
Uh-huh.
See, I hate that we call them worms because all I think of is the Alaskan bullworm from SpongeBob just barreling over some adventures.
That's very much a purple worm from D&D.
I guess it is, but I don't know. They already have like mythic actions for Fizzbands, right? They already have legendary mythic actions. Are they going to get ultra super mega actions? What are they getting next?
So you are talking about what we've seen, like the classes are going to be too powerful. Well, we've already gotten a couple examples of classes of what we've gotten so far, and I don't think any of it's been too powerful.
No, it's true, but I do think all of them are more powerful than they were in the player handbook.
But they're way cooler.
No,
Speaking
it's true,
of
it's
which,
true.
why don't we jump into the cleric because we will be cutting the episode right here. Goodbye.